The woman in the empty street. The night had no edges. It pressed against him like a vast, suffocating cloth, heavy with silence. Armand walked through the streets with no destination. His steps echoing in narrow alleys, each sound swallowed almost instantly by the void. He had been told once that the world had a hidden order, that men only needed to look carefully enough to discover the delicate lines connecting one moment to the next. Yet the longer he lived, the less he found those lines. Instead, he discovered ruptures, jarring gaps where sense ought to be, absurd coincidences that mocked his hunger for meaning. A street lamp flickered above him. He stared at it, waiting for it to choose either darkness or light, order or chaos. Never did. Its indecision mirrored his own. He thought, I walk, I breathe, I move forward, but toward what? Every gesture seemed both necessary and ridiculous. Necessary because one cannot stand still forever, ridiculous because no destination justified the effort. Earlier that day, he had watched a man drop his hat into a puddle. The man cursed, retrieved the hat, and placed it again on his head, dripping with dirty water. The sight had struck Armand like a revelation, though of what he couldn't say. Something about the man's obedience to custom, a hat belongs on a head, even if ruined summed up the human condition. We cling to gestures, to rituals, as if they could rescue us from the naked emptiness of our existence. He had wanted to laugh, and instead he felt the kind of sorrow that tightens the throat. His friends told him he thought too much. But was it thinking? To him it felt less like thought than like infection, a fever in the marrow. At odd hours he would suddenly feel the sheer strangeness of being alive. A hand extended before him looked both familiar and alien, as though it belonged to someone else. The face in the mirror was a mask, an arrangement of features that had been assigned to him without consent. Even his own name, spoken aloud, sounded like an accident. 2 syllables stitched together, endlessly repeated, clung to as if they were the essence of a self that refused to appear. He stopped at a bench and sat down. Across the street, the windows of a cafe glowed warmly. Inside, people laughed, bent their heads together, sipped from cups that steamed in the yellow light. He envied them, not for their pleasures, which he suspected were shallow, but for their ability to forget. They moved through their days with confidence, as if each morning carried within it a promise that the world would hold together for another cycle of hours. Armand could not join them. He saw the cracks in everything, and once you saw them, the cracks became all you could see. A sudden gust of wind carried a scrap of paper down the street. It danced in unpredictable swirls before settling at his feet. He picked it up, expecting to find something. An address, a note, some clue of significance. Instead it was blank. Entirely blank. He stared at it, and then he laughed, a raw and bitter laugh that startled even himself. The world had handed him a symbol of his condition. A sheet of nothing, drifting aimlessly, mistaken for a message. Armand folded it carefully, slid it into his pocket, and stood again. He would keep it, though he knew not why. Perhaps out of superstition, or irony, or because some part of him clung to the possibility that even absurdity could be transformed into meaning if one carried it long enough. And so he walked on, the night pressing tighter, the silence heavier, the absurdity unbroken. I keep telling myself that I should act as though things make sense. People do it every day. They rise from their beds, wash their faces, drink their coffee, speak their lines as if a script had been written long before they arrived. And I can imitate them. I can shave, I can smile, I can answer questions politely. But beneath each gesture lies the same weight, the certainty that none of it means anything. Not the shaving, not the smiling, not even the speaking. This morning, for example, I woke to the sound of the neighbor's dog barking at a leaf. Leaf, nothing more. The leaf trembled in the wind, and the dog went mad with outrage, as if defending civilization itself. I laughed at first. Then I wondered if I was not the same, snarling at the slightest movement of chance, barking to affirm some order that isn't there. The dog stopped eventually. I didn't. I haven't stopped. People tell me I think too much. They mean I make myself miserable. But is it thinking? I don't choose these thoughts. They come like a fever, sudden, unbidden. I'll be eating a piece of bread and suddenly the act of chewing feels grotesque, absurd. Grinding matter with bone, forcing it down a tube of flesh to keep this machine running for another day. I'll be speaking to someone and their face, animated with expressions, will strike me as no more meaningful than a puppet's. And my own words, my own laughter, seem rehearsed, counterfeit, as though some stranger has put them into my mouth. I envy people who can lose themselves. I watch them laugh in cafes, clutch newspapers on the tram, argue about sports as if life depends on it. They believe, or pretend well enough to believe, that there is a thread tying 1 hour to the next, that the day tomorrow will justify the day today. Not. For me, every hour stands alone, like a disconnected island. I move from one to the other not by choice, but because I am pushed. Sometimes I wonder if I am ill, if this is some defect in me. But then I recall the blank sheet of paper that blew into my hands yesterday. A message from nowhere, written in silence. A perfect symbol of life itself. Presented to you, meaningless, and yet you are expected to hold it, carry it, perhaps even treasure it. What am I to do with such a gift? Throw it away. Pretend it bears a message. I can't decide. That is my torment. Caught between the ridicule of pretending and the horror of admitting there is nothing to pretend about. So I walk. I sit. I rise. I keep my pocket full of blank paper, though I do not know why. Maybe I hope one day I'll read it again and find something there that wasn't before. Or maybe I only want proof that I wasn't wrong, that the page was as empty as I felt when I found it. Why do I get up at all? The alarm goes off, I hit it, I sit up, I stand, I wash, I chew bread, I drink water, and none of it has weight, none of it is real, it's just one motion piled on another like bricks without mortar, like a wall that doesn't hold anything back. I walk through the street and people move as if they know what they are doing. Why do they move so surely? What do they see that I don't, or are they blind in the right way? I'm too awake, that's the trouble, too awake to the cracks. I see the seams, I see the glue, I see how thin it all is, and once you see it you can't unsee it. The dog this morning barking at the leaf. It stayed with me all day. A leaf, of all things, harmless, trembling, doing nothing but existing. And the dog howled like it was a threat, like the world was falling apart. And then I thought, isn't that me, isn't that everyone, barking at leaves, at shadows, at the trembling of things we can't control? And yet it was funny, absurd, I laughed, but the laugh turned sour, bitter, because I knew I was the dog too. Chewing, yes, even chewing betrays me. I sit with bread in my mouth and suddenly the act is unbearable, monstrous. The grinding of jawbone, the paste forming, the swallowing, the tube inside me sucking it down into the dark machinery. And everyone does it. Everyone chews like it's nothing, like it's natural, like it's not grotesque at all. Do they not see? Do they not feel? Or do they see and choose to look away? Faces. Faces are the worst. A face in conversation, shifting, smiling, frowning, stretching into shapes that pretend to mean something. But when I really look, when the fever comes, I see only a puppet's mask, skin pulled over bone, twitching as if by strings. And then my own mouth opens, words fall out, and I don't believe them, not a syllable. Who put them there? Who taught me to grin, nod, reply? I am a parrot repeating lines I never wrote. Sometimes I want to shout in the middle of the street. Stop pretending. But to whom would I shout? They would only stare, shake their heads, step away, mutter madman under their breath. Maybe they'd be right. Maybe it is madness to see the hollowness so clearly. Better to drink the coffee, laugh at the joke, nod at the headline. Better to be blind in the right way. But then yesterday the paper. That damned scrap of paper blowing down the street, dancing like it had a purpose, a destination, and when it landed at my feet I thought, here finally, a sign. I picked it up, ready to read. And it was blank. Blank. Not a word, not a mark, nothing. A perfect message. The world speaking at last. Emptiness. A joke so perfect it made me laugh until my stomach ached. Laugh like a lunatic in the night. And yet I folded it, kept it, slid it into my pocket. Why keep a blank sheet? But I couldn't let it go. I still can't. It's here against my chest, pressing, reminding me. Nothing, nothing, nothing. What do I want? A message. Meaning scribbled across the void. Or do I want proof that there is none? I can't decide. I can't decide anything. So I walk, I sit, I stand, I move forward because there is nothing else to do. I am the leaf. I am the dog. I am the blank page. And the world keeps spinning, absurd, absurd, absurd. Alarm. Silence after. Body moving before I ask it to. Water on face. Cold. Pointless. Bread in mouth. Ooh. Grind. Flesh machine. Ooh. Follow. Keep alive another day. For what? Treat. People walking sure, steady. Why steady? Why so sure? I stumble, they glide. They know nothing. Or worse, they know and pretend not to. Dog barking. Leaf. Just a leaf. Harmless. Trembling. Barking as if the end of the world. I laughed. I stopped laughing. I saw myself. Barking too. Always barking. Faces. Hooking. Mouths moving. Lips stretching. Noise spilling out. Smile, grimace. Who can tell? Puppets. Skin mask. My face too. Words not mine. Someone else's lines. I mouth them anyway. Nodding. Grinning. Turret. Chewing, God chewing. Jawbone grinding. Pulp forming. Wet paste sliding down. Disgust. Everyone does it, no one flinches. Flinch. See it. Always I see it. Blank paper. Yesterday. Blown to my feet. Thought, finally, message. Meaning. Proof. Picked it up. Nothing. Not a mark. Me. A sheet of void. The perfect answer. I laughed, doubled over, choking on the joke. And then I folded it. Pocket. Still there. Against me. Blank but heavy. Heavier than any book. Heavier than stone. Why keep it? Why hold on? As if tomorrow I'll open it again and, what? Words appear. Meaning written in invisible ink. Or maybe I wanted blank. Proof. Nothing means nothing. I don't know. I am walking. Always walking. No path. No map. No end. Just steps. Forward, forward, forward. I am the dog. I am the leaf. I am the paper. Big noise. The alarm screaming. Then silence heavier than the scream. My hand moving before I even know it's mine. Washington cold water. I stinging. Mirror face staring back. Mine. Not mine. Mask. Pores, lips, stubble. Who placed it here? Who fixed it on me? Bread. Always bread. Dry stale chew. Jaw working, bone grinding. The paste forming, lump sliding down. The machinery fed. I feel the gears turning. They call it nourishment. Call it delay. Another day bought. Another hour purchased at the price of swallowing. Treat. Shoes against stone. Up, up, up. A rhythm but not music. No melody. Just compulsion. People pass. Their faces determined. They know where to go. Or pretend. Stumble. They glide. I feel like an actor who's forgotten his lines. They never forget. Or they never knew there were lines. The dog again. Barking. Leaf. Just a leaf, yellow, thin, trembling in the wind. The dog furious. Barking as if it mattered. As if civilization itself depended on the leaf's destruction. I laughed at first. Mad laugh. Then silence. 'Cause it was me. I am the dog. I bark at shadows, tremors, meaningless tremors. And the world watches. Faces. Too many faces. Smiles, grimaces, twitching eyes. Skin masks over bone. Strings pulling. Puppets in the cafe. Talking, laughing, sipping coffee, reading headlines. Their mouths spilling sound. Do they mean it? Do they believe it? Or is it all rehearsal? My own voice joins them sometimes. My mouth moves, words fall, I don't believe them. Who speaks? Who speaks through me? Not me. Never me. Chewing. Always chewing. On the tram. On the bench. In the street. Mouths grinding. Flesh machines. And no one notices the grotesque. Only me. Only me gagging on the thought of it. Yesterday. The paper. The gift. Blown to my feet. Dancing like it had purpose. Bent picked it up. My hands trembling. Sign surely. The universe breaking its silence. And then blank. Me. A nothing handed to me as if it were everything. I laughed. bitter, raw until my chest ached. Laughed like a lunatic. And then I folded it. Tuck it. Kept it. Why keep a void? Why carry emptiness against my heart? And yet I do. Still there. Heavy as a stone. Why not throw it away? Why not let it blow back into the street? Dance again for someone else. Because I can't. 'Cause it is mine now, my proof. Proof of what? Of nothing. Proof that there is nothing. Leaf. Bark. My mind circles. Again. I can't shake it. The dog's fury. The leaf's trembling. The absurd theater. I am both the one who shakes and the one who barks. And neither knows why. Faces again. Cafe glowing. Warmth. Steam rising from cups. Their laughter thick, loud. I stand outside. Cold. Watching. Envy them. Not their pleasures, shallow, fragile, but their blindness. Their ability to forget. To stitch moments into a story. I see cracks everywhere. Cracks widening. Once seen, never unseen. Up. Always steps. Forward. To where? Nowhere. No map. No end. Just motion. Just habit. Paper. I touch it in my pocket. My fingers feel the fold. Smooth, sharp edge. Blankness folded into quarters. I imagine words appearing. Invisible ink. Hidden code. Go here. Do this. Wait. But nothing. It whispers silence. A perfect message. The joke too perfect. Bread again. This morning, tomorrow morning, the next. Bread, chew, swallow, feed the machine. Delay the inevitable. Delay what? For what? Dog again. Barking. Always barking. Me. Always me. Leaf. Trembling. Wind tossing it. Useless. Fragile. And yet it moves. It moves without reason. Just moves. Faces. Smiling. Drinking. Looking. Uppets. Strings. My face too. My mask too. My words too. Not mine. Never mine. Paper. Blank. Heavy. Proof. The word itself tastes like iron. Like rust in the mouth. I roll it on my tongue. Absurd. As if saying it makes it lighter. Doesn't. Presses down harder. Silence. Always silence between thoughts. Heavy like stone. My thoughts clatter inside it, sharp, broken. Big. Washington chew. Follow. Up. Leaf. Bark. Face. Mail. Mess. Paper. Blank. Heavy. Again. Spiral tightening. No center. No exit. Only orbit. Only the same fragments circling. I want to stop. Can't stop. I want to believe. Can't believe. I want to forget. Can't forget. So I walk. Forward. Always forward. Steps without destination. Body without meaning. Pocket full of nothing. And the night pressing closer. And the silence heavier. And the absurd unbroken. The street stretches on narrow, lamps bleeding yellow light into the dark. And then her. Woman. Crossing the corner. Slipping out of shadow into glow. Coat swinging lightly with each movement. Hair loose, a kind of halo in the lamplight. Her face unreadable, or maybe I never learned how to read faces. Freeze. She doesn't. She keeps walking. And in me the crack opens wider. Figure. Just a figure. Flesh, bone, cloth, hair. Nothing more. Stranger. Why does her shape stab through me like a knife? Why this sudden pulse in the chest? As if her walking were an answer. Answer to what? To nothing. No question asked. And yet her steps. Rhythmic. Certain. How? How can she move so smoothly through this ruined world? Does she not feel it? The absurd pressing down. The void under her feet. Or does she feel it and walk anyway? She looks up. Is dark, alive. Meeting mine. For an instant. No less than an instant. And I recoil. What did she see? A man standing frozen. Fool. Mask. She must think I was waiting for her. Or staring. Or nothing at all. Maybe she didn't notice. Maybe I am invisible. Her face lingers. Inside me, fragments scatter. Woman. Not an idea. Not a symbol. A body moving through cold air. And yet, I cannot stop my mind. She is the leaf. Trembling but not trembling. She is the dog's opposite. No bark, no frenzy. A fragment of calm in the chaos. Or am I inventing her calm to soothe myself? He passes the cafe. Light spilling over her. Her hand lifts, pushes the door. And she enters. Warmth swallows her. Laughter swallows her. She becomes one of them, faces, masks, words spilling, cups steaming. Me. Say. Watching again. Always outside. Think I could follow. Step into the light. Sit near her. Order coffee. Fee. My voice could make sound. Perhaps she would answer. Perhaps not. Perhaps she would smile. Or frown. Or not see me at all. But even the thought chokes me. My words already feel false before they leave my mouth. Puppetry. Strings. A performance no one asked to see. She disappears among them. Shadows shift. Another laugh, another voice. I lose her. And yet she lingers. In my chest, in my eyes. Mirror. Possibility. Proof that the world can walk gracefully even as it collapses. Paper in my pocket. Touch it. Smooth, folded, blank. Her face. Sudden, burning, alive. Paper. Blank. Or. Live. Blank. Live. Blank. Live. How can both exist at once? I walk again. Steps heavy. Cafe behind me. The woman gone. The page still folded. Inside me the spiral tightens. Leaf, dog, bark, face, smile, mask, woman, alive, paper, blank. And forward. Always forward. Through the absurd, with her shadow walking beside me, though she never will. The night passed. I carried the blank page like a talisman. Slept badly, woke worse. Dreams full of fragments. Dog barking, leaf trembling, her face appearing and vanishing, a door swinging open but never closed. Morning. Same rituals. Wash bread, chew, swallow. Mechanical. Chacked hollow. Yet beneath it, a new tremor. Or, a memory I didn't choose. She walked into my mind and stayed, uninvited. I told myself, it was nothing. A woman, a passerby, a body among bodies. And yet I walked out into the streets as if expecting her. And there again. Afternoon this time. Tram stop. She was waiting, coat buttoned, eyes down on a book. Book. She read. People don't read anymore. Or maybe they pretend to. Her lips moved faintly, like she was whispering the words to herself. I froze again. My legs useless. Why? She was only there, standing, breathing. The absurd world had not changed, the cracks still everywhere. And yet, her presence bent the air itself. The tram arrived. She stepped on. I did not. I stood, pocket heavy with the folded page. Blankness in one hand, her image in the other. Later again. Different street. She emerged from a bakery with a small bag. Bread. The same bread I curse every morning, chew with disgust, grind in my jaws. And yet in her hands it looked holy, necessary, almost beautiful. She bit into it while walking. Chewed. And for the first time I envied the act of chewing. Why should her chewing be different from mine? Her mouth, her jawbone, her swallowing. The same grotesque machinery. But in her it became human. Possible. As though meaning flickered for an instant inside the motion I had damned. I wanted to shout. Asterisk, do you not see the absurd? Do you not feel the void yawning beneath your steps? Asterisk, but she chewed calmly, swallowed, kept walking. Defiance I could not match. She became everywhere. Or perhaps I was hunting her without knowing. A figure at the edge of my vision. On a bench in the tram, stepping through a doorway. Never speaking. Always present. And inside me, the spiral wrenched sideways. No longer only leaf, dog, bark, paper, blank. No, her. Walking through the cracks. Refusing to vanish. One evening I followed. Not close, not near enough for her to notice. Just enough to let her presence guide me. She crossed a square, entered another cafe, sat by the window. Ordered coffee. Steam rising, her hands around the cup. She stared out the glass as if she too were outside. As if she too felt the silence pressing. For a moment, yes, for a dangerous moment, I believed. Believed she was the sign the page had refused to be. Believed she was the ink hidden from my eyes. And then the doubt returned. Or worse, the certainty. She was no sign. She was only another face. Another puppet mask. Another body chewing bread, walking streets, sipping coffee, laughing sometimes, frowning others. No more, no less. But still she disrupted me. Paper in my pocket. Blank. Her face in my memory. Life. Blank. Life. Blank. Life. The two at war. And me, split, torn, unable to return to the clean despair of before. Because now I know the absurd is not pure. Can be cracked by a figure, a gesture, a presence that pretends. No worse, that feels real. She should not exist. Not like this. Not in me. And yet she does. It happened without plan. Not following, not waiting. Corner turned and she was there. No cafe window, no tram stop. Just her, walking toward me in the narrowing street. The lamps buzzing overhead. The sound of her shoes against stone. Soft but insistent. I felt the page in my pocket burn, as though the blank itself knew what was coming. She looked up. Calm, steady. And she stopped. Up. For me. Do you always stare like that? She asked. Her voice was not accusing, not harsh. Curious, almost amused. I wanted to deny. To shake my head, laugh, step aside. But the truth clamped my tongue. Yes, I stared. Always I stared. At her, at faces, at the world tearing itself apart in silence. I said nothing. She tilted her head, as if listening for words I would not release. Then, you've been following me. Not a question. Heat in my face. My chest tightening. I thought. Asterisk, now she knows. Now the farce is exposed. The puppet unmasked. Asterisk. I see you. I managed, my voice low, cracked. She frowned. Not anger, not fear. Puzzlement. See me. Everyone sees me. I walk in the street. I'm not invisible. No, I said. The word clawed out of me. Not like that. I see you as if you mean something. As if you were the answer. Her eyes widened slightly. Silence. Then she laughed. Soft, sudden. The answer. To what? Had no reply. Only the page in my pocket, heavy, folded, screaming blankness against my ribs. I wanted to pull it out, thrust it at her. Show her the void that had been given me. But my hand froze. Instead I said, to nothing. She stared at me then. Not smiling, not laughing. Searching. Do you always talk like this? Always, I said. My throat dry. It's all I have. Another silence. Then gently. You're tired. The word hit me like a blow. Tired. Yes, bone tired of chewing bread, of barking like the dog, of masks, of fragments, of blank pages. She had named it in a single word. I wanted to collapse. I wanted to shout. I wanted to seize her hand. Ask her if she too felt the cracks. Ask if she was pretending, if everyone was pretending, if there was a way not to pretend. Instead I asked, how do you walk? How do you eat and laugh and not see the emptiness? Her eyes did not flinch. She said, I see it. The air tore open. You, my voice broke. I see it, she repeated. But I don't stop walking. The lamps hummed. The street swayed. Inside me the wall I had built, of blankness, absurdity, certainty, cracked like glass. For the first time in years I was not alone with the void. We stood there, silent, her gaze holding mine. No script, no mask, no puppet strings. Only the unbearable weight of possibility. I see it, she said again, softer this time, as though she knew I would not believe it the first. How? The word came out like a gasp. If you see it, if you feel the emptiness, how can you keep moving, keep chewing, keep... My throat tightened. Keep living. She smiled then. Not a mask smile, not the cafe smile, but something quieter, almost weary. Because there's nothing else to do. Stopping doesn't make the void disappear. Walking doesn't either. But walking feels better. Better. I almost laughed. Better. That's your answer. Bread in the mouth, dog barking at a leaf, faces twitching like puppets. And your answer is better. Yes, she said simply. Better than despair. Better than barking. My hand shook. The page in my pocket rustled as if it wanted to speak. I wanted to pull it out, unfold it, shove the blankness between us. Look, I wanted to scream, this is the truth. This is all there is, a message written in silence. But her eyes, steady, quiet, held me. You think I don't feel it, she went on. Every day I wake, and it's there. The silence, the crack, the weight. But I take my steps. I eat my bread. I laugh when I can. Not because it means anything, but because I am here. And being here is already enough. Her words struck me like stones thrown into water, each sinking, sending ripples that broke the calm I had built in my solitude. Enough, I whispered. Enough for who? For me, she said. And I saw it, the smallest tremor in her eyes, not calm but courage. Courage to admit what I could not. That absurdity did not kill her, it walked beside her. That she did not deny the blank page, but carried it too, without folding under its weight. You make it sound so simple, I muttered. As if we can just live. Not simple, she said. Never simple. Just possible. Her gaze didn't leave mine. And for a moment, one trembling, unbearable moment, I believed her. Believed that the absurd could be carried like a stone in the pocket, that the blank page didn't have to suffocate, that the dog could bark and the leaf still tremble, and yet life could go on, without answer, without meaning, and still be walked through. But belief was too much. It burned. I turned away, shaking, clutching the page as if to crush it into dust. You don't know, I whispered. You can't know. Behind me her voice, calm, firm, insistent. I do. That's why I keep walking. Stop. I couldn't turn back. If I did, I might never return to the safe prison of my absurdity. If I didn't, I might never see her again. The silence closed in. My chest ached. My steps would decide. I didn't turn back. My feet moved forward, almost against my will, heavy, clumsy, as though each step were dragging chains. Behind me her voice still echoed, quiet but unbroken. Asterisk I do. That's why I keep walking. Asterisk. The words stayed. They clung like burrs in the fabric of my mind. Not truth, not lie, just there. Insistent. For a moment the fever inside me loosened. The dog fell silent. The leaf trembled without menace. Even the blank page in my pocket felt less like a sentence and more like a stone. Heavy, yes, but only heavy. Not unbearable. Relief, sudden, like a breath let out after years of holding it. And yet uncertainty surged at once. What had she given me? A lie. A trick of calm. Or something worse. The possibility that she was right. That the absurd could be endured without worship, without despair. I wanted to run back, demand another word, another proof. I wanted to flee, never see her again. Protect the purity of my emptiness. I wanted both. I wanted neither. So I walked. The night pressed close. The lamps flickered. My pocket was full of silence, and yet my chest felt lighter or heavier, I could not tell. Uncertainty, relief, side by side like two shadows overlapping. Perhaps this was all there would ever be. Not answers. Not meaning. Only the crack of the absurd and the stubborn step taken anyway. I walked on.